Mark here. Today I'm going to work on lowering my little Toyota pickup truck here. This is a 1999 Toyota Tacoma, and I've had it for a few years and I really like it. It's just my kind of a second vehicle, but I'm going to lower it down a few inches. I'm going to flip the spindles on the front, and I got lowering blocks for the back end. So let's get started. In the front, there was about 4 inches of space between the top of the tire and the wheel well edge. And in the back, there was about 5.5 inches of space between the top of the tire and the edge of the wheel well. Okay, here's what I'm doing on the front. I'm going to relocate the spindles, so I'm going to unbolt it from down here and then move this up here. So it's going to lower it about that much, about 2 inches or so. From there to there. This will be from here to there. Okay, let me show you what I did here. I took, this is the lower spindle mount, which goes right here. This goes into this. This whole thing's upside down. This mount was on the bottom. What I did was, it had pressed in bolts. I took the nuts off and then pounded out the bolts. I had to buy new 1/2-inch bolts, but then I moved this mount from the bottom up to here. All right, what I got for the back end is a lowering kit. What you do, these go in between the axle and the spring. You take the U-bolts off the rear axle, put this in between the spring and the rear axle, and then I got new longer U-bolts. This is a lot easier. This is a lot simpler than doing the front end. That was quite involved. Took me longer than I expected, but it came out good. Okay, so I'm under my truck, and here's what we got. Here's the U-bolts. What I'll do is take off the U-bolts, the old ones. That block is going to go in between the axle and the spring, right underneath this pad, and then I'll put the new blocks on. What I'm going to do is unbolt it on both sides, and then I'll just raise up the axle with the jack and then put the blocks in there and set the axle back down. I'm not going to have to disconnect any kind of brake lines or anything, so it's a pretty straightforward operation. I don't think it's going to even affect my shocks any. It looks like I might have to replace them anyway. And anyways, that's it. Alright, let's check out what I did. As you can see, put the spacer block in there between the leaf spring and the axle, and then put the new U-bolts. The block worked up with this shackle good, the shock's fine, everything's good. Did it on that side too. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just hotter than hell, but that's it. So now I'm going to pull this thing out in the driveway and see what the difference is with the stance. Now, after I lowered the truck, there was about 1 inch of space between the top of the tire and the edge of the wheel well in the front. There was about 3.5 inches of space between the top of the tire and the wheel well edge in the back. real happy with the way everything turned out, but I think I am going to lower the back end down a few more inches.